Hi, I want to show you Desmos. I have several things that I want to show you here as we work through this. The first thing that I want to point out is that Yuki Terada in 2020 wrote an article called A Powerful Model for Understanding Good Tech Integration. And that model was the SAMR model. So Desmos does allow for substitution of just a regular calculator. You can use your keyboard or the keyboard on the screen to make some arithmetic insertions into the calculator. You can also turn fractions into decimals or keep them as fractions. There are some shortcuts for repeating decimals being turned into fractions. As you put it in, you notice that the fraction bar goes away and comes back, and it will automatically make that conversion for you. So there are other functions that are available in here. So it's a slightly larger version of the scientific calculator. There is also a graphing calculator that allows you to input table information, where you can create documents where you can create documents with tables, with points. So if you have points here, you can put them in and they will graph them for you. You can see where they are. They will label them if you'd like them to be labeled. It will allow you to do a regression formula to create a function rule that goes through. You can check your own work by graphing the equation that it comes up. You can compare graphs to see if you've done something correct or incorrect. More importantly, so that is one of the substitution situations. The augmentation is that it allows you to put in those tables and those regressions, and then you can also, it will also provide you with sliders. So if you want to show students how those slope and intercept things change, you can change your slope-intercept. Sorry, you can change your y-intercept. You can change your slope, and it will change the picture of the graph as you go through. And that's an augmentation situation. The modification that I see in Desmos is the teacher section of Desmos, which with the classroom activities. So here's an example of something that I did a little bit earlier. These are not real students. These are the names of my family that I put in, but I can see I open up a collaboration and inquiry space depending on what the activity is, and I can have my students here. I can make them anonymous so that no one knows. I can take snapshots of what they're doing while they're working. I can, at the end, see what they have done. So here was a game that was played by myself and my husband, but I can anonymize it. And the way that this game works is that somebody is asking questions and getting answers, and it's like Guess Who. It's a Guess Who game, but they have to connect with one another. So they choose a graph and then they start asking questions. It's a really good collaboration space and a good way for students to communicate. All of these activities in the teacher section are that. Finally, is redefinition. The redefinition, in my mind, is especially impressive when we talk about the Braille options that are available. I had a Braille student, a student who only used Braille to communicate. This allows me to put things into the Desmos calculator and immediately give it to her. It allows her from her end to put it in, and I can see it. And then Additionally, so here are the codes for the Braille examples. Additionally, there is a graph option where you can, let me move this, where you can hear the graph. So if I am on graph 1, this is the red graph. It's a positive slope. It goes through the point 2. I can allow it to, I'm going to turn this up. I can allow it to make a noise and show me what that sounds like. I can have it describe a point. Maybe not. I can't get that to work right this second. Then if I want to look at this one, I can hear this graph. But that describe point is a screen reader. It'll just read for a student. So that's really nice. In the Educator's Guide to Student Data Privacy, Gallagher, Magid, and Pruitt were saying that we need to find sites that allow for federal and state laws regarding FERPA and COPPA. So when you go to the privacy section of Desmos, they explicitly say that they are in compliance with COPPA and with FERPA. So I think that that is a pretty good situation. And I would highly recommend Desmos. Additionally, when you're looking at Desmos, it is on most state, on their websites, it is on most state tests. It is embedded in several national tests. So I haven't worked in a district where it hasn't been approved because of that. However, in one of the things that Gallagher, Magid, and Pruitt said is that the vendor needs to commit to only take the data from the students that for the purpose of providing services. In Jeremy O'Toole's article, though, he provided a link to something called Common Sense Privacy Program. And if you notice, if you go there and enter in Desmos, it actually has a warning, and it has a listing of why those warnings are there. It does say that data is not collected for third party, but it's unclear about everything else. Now, the one thing that I noticed was that this evaluation was done in September of 2023. Desmos changed their privacy policy very shortly before. I do not know if this is based on that August policy or if the policy was in the process. So I am confused about the timing of that. It seems very close. So this warning may be based on that new privacy. And I'm not really sure how to feel about that warning. So because it is very, very broadly used in schools and in math departments. That is what I have. I do really like Desmos.